We are back again for another one. Big up every single one of you. It's Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. It's Thursday. Bloody hell. It is Thursday, the 4th of April, 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Big up every single one of you. Arsenal sitting at the top of the table, beating up Luton yesterday. It was a lovely performance. It was a lovely victory. I know there's some people out there that are a bit upset. Oh, should have scored more. And listen, we could have scored more. We could have battered Luton yesterday. But there's a strategic plan. There's a strategic plan to keep these players physically fit, mentally fit, mentally prepared for all of the big games coming up. We have a really, really tight fixture list. Most of us do. I think all the Premier League teams do. Every 3 games. Not all the Premier League teams, especially us in the Champions League and the ones that are in Europe. I mean, we've got games every 3 days. Coming thick and fast, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Brighton on Saturday or Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? Either one. It's going to be an interesting game, and we have to obviously rest players, keep players fitness levels, got to balance it out, man. Big up ESR, big up the guys that were playing yesterday, Reece Nelson, guys that were getting minutes yesterday. Interesting. Big up all those guys. We're going to talk about that. There's so much to actually talk about today. Big up all the real ones in the building. Make sure we are hitting the like button. We do appreciate you guys. So we're going to talk about the game yesterday. We're going to be talking about Guimarães and Isak, both wanting to join Arsenal. Interestingly, Arsenal being linked with both of the players, and as we do know, Newcastle find themselves in a predicament whereby they might need to sell. Well, it's not even a might. It's not even a might. It's a definite. It is a definite. Definite thing whereby they're going to need to sell some players, and Bruno Guimarães and Isak could be the two players that they do sacrifice and sell. So we're obviously going to touch on that. Ten Hag begs for more time. Process at Manchester United. They're looking at managers. Nagelsmann is being linked with Manchester United at this moment in time as well. Manager circus at this moment in time. Bloody hell, how many times am I going to say that? Big up Creeper, J Dub, Chin David in the building, Sergio in the building. The Emirates faithfuls in the building. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn the notification bells on. All of that. So do let me know how you feel about the game last night. Did you expect 5 goals? 5-0 thrillers? Big up my guy Alex in the building. Good morning to you. Big up all the coffee gang. Let me know what you're drinking. Cappuccino, Americano, or just plain old Nescafe Gold. Bro, I don't even know why I'm drinking this, blood. But it's coffee. It's coffee. Am I a mod yet, Wax? Oh, I totally forgot. I'm gonna do you straight after this, my guy. Much appreciate you, Alex, man. Didn't ask for the URL for nothing. I'm gonna do you today, my guy. Pause. All right. Anyway, man, we're gonna touch on everything there is to touch on. Pause. And Kai Havertz probably be the first topic of discussion, because Kai Havertz. Doing well, man. I mean, his GA at this moment in time is better than what he ever produced at Chelsea. He's got 12 GA for Arsenal so far. Where's the numbers? Let's get this on the screen. 12 GAs so far and counting for Kai Havertz, ladies and gentlemen. It's looking all good, man. We're getting an ROI for the Don. We're definitely getting a better ROI than Chelsea, of course. And Mikel Arteta seems to be getting so much more out of Kai Havertz. Some people will question Kai Havertz's performance yesterday, but I think he done well, man. Movement is incredible. There were so many runs that he was ready to make, but players weren't finding him. They weren't looking for him. Weren't picking out those passes. We keep hitting it long for a reason. I think that's because of Kai Havertz. But one problem I find is that Kai Havertz doesn't really seem to get the ball under control. So I don't know why we keep hitting it long to him, but. Kai Havertz's movement, his runs, the positions that he finds, the space that he's finding on the pitch is incredible. It's dangerous, and it enables other players to do what they do as well. Odegaard, another player that stepped up yesterday. It was Kai Havertz that got the assist for Odegaard. Beautiful bit of play there. Luton all over the place. Darth Vader, man, speak up, bro. What's going on with Luton right now? Are you, man, destined for relegation? I don't even know. Potentially. With the way you were playing yesterday, man, defensively, giving balls away, just leaving gaping holes in behind. I was thinking, why aren't Arsenal utilizing the space in behind? But again, it's down to what I said earlier. It's a strategy. We don't need to go full throttle against Luton. It's Luton. We know we're going to beat Luton. We know we're going to beat Luton. We don't need to go full throttle. We don't need to come out of gear 1 for Luton. And that's more or less what we were in yesterday. Gear 1, a few bench players on the pitch getting minutes. And it was good to see it, man. It was good to see it. We're going to touch on ESR, Reece Nelson, and, the future of those players. What potentially could happen. I like what I saw from ESR yesterday. I have to be totally honest. He was working mad hard. There was one moment, I thought it was Odegaard. And then when I watched the replay, I was like, nah, it's ESR, bro. ESR's putting his neck on the line where he's getting back, tracking runners, last-ditch tackles. I'm seeing a lot from ESR yesterday, bro. Man was trying to show Mikel Arteta that he can work. Because this team's all about work. Mikel Arteta wants a player that can work for 90 minutes. I think ESR played for 86 minutes. We got 86 minutes out of ESR yesterday. Incredible. But he was working extremely, extremely hard, doing everything, passing, moving, getting into the final third, getting back defending. I was thinking, right, this is a brand new ESR. Definitely trying to prove Arteta that he is worthy of more minutes. And of course, with the way the fixtures are moving over the next coming days, weeks, we're going to need more legs, aren't we? So it's good to see ESR putting in work. Big up Joe in the building. Big up my guy Dean in the building. Big up Tope. We got Jack, Creeper. I see you. Big up Surgery. He says Nelson messed up. He's big chance. He didn't take anyone on. He bottled it. Yeah, look, we wasn't as a team. I think we was in gear 1, gear 2, and it was just more of a reserved football match for Arsenal. Just laid back, relaxed. Don't do too much. Don't necessarily need to over-assert ourselves. We just need to reserve ourselves for the Brighton game. Make sure, because the Brighton game's so much more trickier than this Luton game. And then we've got Bayern Munich directly after that. We want to keep as many legs fresh as possible. So let's not overdo it. Let's just relax, take our time, and the goals will come. It's inevitable. We've got the quality. You're not deploying that team yesterday and not seeing goals. What is Nelson's best position anyway? Is it on the left or the right? Look, I think, you have to be fair on Nelson. He plays on the left and right, but we have to be fair on Nelson when we're judging him, because this is a guy that isn't getting any minutes. That was Nelson's first start for Arsenal in 4 years, bro. Yeah. 4 years, blood. That was Reece Nelson's first. I think it was in the Premier League, though. First start in the Premier League. Maybe that's the stat. First start in the Premier League in 4 years, blood. You have to kind of give him cutting some slack, and obviously take that into consideration when judging this player, because he has got the qualities, but we're not going to see a sharp Reece Nelson at this moment in time. The guy's not playing, blood. The guy's not playing, so you've got to bear with him. However, Reece Nelson, in my opinion, is not the guy to take us over the line or take us to that next level. If I had my way, I would instantly replace Reece Nelson. But 4 years, that's wild. Can you imagine what that would do for a man's confidence and what that's done to a man's confidence? You've literally sat there and watched Saka play ahead of you for 4 years. It's mad. It's crazy. And you're older than the brother. He was in the first team, training with the first team before the brother. Trust me, these things can dent your confidence. And sometimes it's you can react 2 ways. It's either you improve and make it happen, or you stagnate and regress. That's the two directions you can go in, really. And I think what Reece Nelson has done, I think Reece Nelson has more or less stagnated and regressed. Reece Nelson was being labelled better than Jadon Sancho, and I mean, that's not really saying much, to be quite fair, because Jadon Sancho hasn't really proved himself. But yes, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. You have to be fair with Reece, man. Have to be fair, bro. Big up Melbourne in the building. Nothing but love and respect to you. Big up Shaheen as well. Nothing but love and respect to you, bloods. Come on, it's all love. It's all love, as always. Make sure we are hitting the like button as we join the stream. Just kind of touching on yesterday's game. As you saw, I didn't do a match reaction, and I don't think I will be doing match reactions. I think I'll keep my streams, scheduled, not just all sporadically all over the place. And yeah, we'll just talk about the game on our streams. Still a bit ill, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you can hear, so do bear with me, man. Do bear with me. Dry throat and all that. Pause. I don't know what needs a pause these days. That's fair enough. For 4 years wait, Nelson start. We weren't even cutting inside. Arteta screaming at him to get back. Yeah, making him work. Making him work. He wants, like, trust me, Arteta wants man just to work, blood. Work. And ESR, I think ESR is probably the big standout. I think he got man of the match yesterday. I'm sure he got man of the match yesterday. The big standout performer in that game on his return. I mean, it's only Luton, with all due respect to them. They're a good team. They've done extremely well as well. But ESR, coming back and getting player of the match. He did get player of the match, setting a precedence, making it happen. And that's exactly what we want. When you're a player playing in an 8 role, like I was seeing it yesterday, there was moments, especially in the first half, where ESR was picking up some great space, but he wasn't trying to, call for the ball. He wasn't really demanding for the ball. And I'm like, bro, in them spaces, ESR, you will create havoc. So let them know that you're there, blood. Let them know that you're there. Or before you get there, let them know you're going there. So you can anticipate it, and man can just kind of make something happen from there. ESR's movement yesterday, he was finding those pockets, and I was like, yeah, this guy's a G, but I need you to get on the ball more. Second half, he started doing exactly that. And maybe that was the conversation that Mikel Arteta had with him. And yeah, ESR, he was just working so hard yesterday and making it happen, man. And when you see those type of performances, it's like, oh, okay, what do you do now then? What do you do now? Obviously, as a fan, you have to just kind of reserve judgment and say, listen, I need to see that on a consistent basis now. I need to see you do that, against Brighton. I need to see you do this against Bayern Munich. Bloody hell, I can't even get my sentences out. What is going on? Is that this blockage? Bare blockage. I can't even, bloody hell, it's mad. Damn, and it said, isn't hay fever. It's mad. Big up Naga in the building, man. Tope says, I think Cozier, Dewberry, and Skelly should be prepared for next season based on homegrown quota. I don't believe Nelson can do any better than he is doing now. Perhaps a move to a lesser team. Absolutely, man. A move to a lesser team, Tope, for Reece Nelson makes a lot of sense. Maybe going to a Brighton. He could probably fit in at Newcastle. They've got a number of injuries and probably will need to kind of think about the type of players they're attracting. They've signed Tonali's, they've signed Isaks, they've signed these type of players. But now you can't really maintain that. So, therefore the reputation of the player might not be the same, and you might have to now go for a Reece Nelson or go for a Dominic Solanke or even a Dominic Calvert-Lewin and build on that before you kind of take that next jump, because things ain't worked out for you, man. So that's something to look out. That will be a team for Reece Nelson, in my opinion. Nottingham Forest, perhaps, those type of teams. But let's see what he does, man. We'll see what he does. Make sure we are hitting the likes. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure we are subscribing as well. Do follow our TikTok account as well. If you are on TikTok, links in the description. Please do follow us on there. All of that type of stuff. Okay, man. ESR, big him up. Let's see if he can maintain. That is the most important thing for me. Can ESR consistently go out there and put in those type of performances? If he can, then we can then talk about his future in terms of Arsenal future and whether he stays, pens a new deal. Is he officially going to be the number 10? Because right now that number 10 at Arsenal has been tarnished. We need him to redeem himself. Is ESR capable of doing so? Do comment down below, let me know. But yeah, man, Odegaard yesterday, Partey yesterday. Who else was there? Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, goes without saying. Ben White, oh my dodgy. How did I forget Benny Boy Blanco? Yeah, Benny Boy Blanco, who told Gareth Southgate, go shut your mouth. Are you mad, bloods? Flipping hell, Benny Boy Blanco. This guy's improvement over the past 12 months has been mental. Mental. And remember, he told Gareth Southgate, go shut your mouth. Hey, fam. Listen, they're looking at Benny Blanco at this moment in time and they're saying this guy is probably one of the best, in the top 3 best right backs on the planet right now. Benny Blanco is doing up tech. Benny Blanco is dropping shoulders on Dons. Yeah? Benny Blanco is putting it through your legs. Okay? This guy is mad. I don't know where this Benny Blanco come from, but he is on fire. He is on fire. What link you talking about? ESR increased his value from yesterday's performance. Bro, what's that? Quick 5 million on top of what he's got there. But Benny Blanco for me yesterday, another standout performance from Benny. He has done tremendously well this season, last season. You know, ever since he's been a right back, to be quite fair. He has had his moments. He has had dips. He has been kind of non-existent in games. But no, Benny Blanco's got a different mentality, bro. Different. This guy is, I don't know, man, what he's been drinking, blood. I don't know what type of tan this guy's been putting on, but it's giving him some next type of mentality, bro. And he doesn't care. Again, he told Gareth Southgate, go shut your mouth. Yeah. Now on a real talk, yeah, it's going to be difficult for any England manager in the future, bro. You know, when you're looking at Ben White at right back, Trent at right back, Reece James at right back, blood, what do you do? What do you do? Based on form right now, you have to say Benny Blanco, blood. Benny Blanco based on form. Even based on what man's producing. Like, it's not even just form. Based on what man's producing and what man's offering a team now. The versatility that Ben White is giving, man. He's seeing Ben White invert now. He's seeing Benny Blanco invert. Oh my God, the guy's getting in central areas, helping dictate, help pull strings, still makes those runs. Bro, taking shots from deep. The guy's ready. The guy's, like I said, putting it through legs, dropping shoulders, shimmies, all of that, bro. This guy's, Benny Blanco is on next type of smoke, man, and deserves all of the credit, blood. Deserves all of the credit. Ben White is inverting in every game, bro. He's just, you know what I like? It's not even just like one way. But Ben White is using multiple ways. Oh, I love it. He's using multiple ways. It's not just playing like one-dimensional way. He's like, all right, I've been told I can invert, so all I'm going to do is invert. No, Ben White is doing everything. He's using his versatility now. You know, I remember before I told you, man, and I think most of the people will remember anyway, that Ben White has played as a defensive midfielder before. So when you're seeing him in those central areas and he's looking comfortable and he's doing little tricks here and there, don't be overly surprised, because this guy's played in these type of positions before, you know. And then you got to think, what was he doing as a child? You know, was he a winger? Was he a striker as a child? You know, you see Saliba. Saliba's got a lot of tech. Saliba's got his tech because, you know, as a young player, he was more or less training and being coached as a striker and as an attacking midfielder, because he was being being coached by Mbappe's dad, you know. So when you're being coached by Mbappe's dad, it's only when you got older you discover yourself to be a centre-back or a right-back or whatever it is. So Benny Blanco, man, is on the next thing. Wax, do you have faith? Of course I have faith, bro. How can you not have faith, man? It'd be delusional to say, oh, no. Like, I know there's people still out there trying to, you know, care more about what their opinion was and what their takes were, rather than really looking at the progress of the football club and saying, actually, what Arsenal are doing now, to me, looking at this, kind of gives me the confidence to say winning the Premier League or winning some type of silverware is inevitable. You know, when you're looking at Arsenal back when we're doing up 8th and 5th, right? It's like you're looking at that and you're looking at that team and you're looking at those performances and you're looking at those players at that time and the mentality and everything that come with Arsenal at that time. And you're like, well, when the hell is this team going to win a Premier League? When the hell is this team going to actually show us and illustrate to us that it is in a position to push for a title? We haven't seen that from Arsenal for a very, very long time. So forgive us if you've got PTSD. Forgive us if we're skeptical. Forgive us if we're feeling some type of way. But the reality is now we've seen progress. We have seen a team come together. We've seen a unity amongst players that we've never kind of seen before or since 2004. It rhymes for a reason. We're seeing a different type of culture. We're seeing a different type of mentality. We're seeing the best defense in the world at this moment in time, more or less. It can be debated, but we're seeing so much. Yeah, there's one or two things that need tweaking. Yeah, there's one or two changes that need to happen, and that needs to go on with every team. If you look at Man City, I'm pretty sure their players will say there's one or two things that need changing, and so on and so forth. But the point is, instead of waffling away, the point is that the Arsenal we have today on the 4th of April, 2024, is an Arsenal that gives me confidence. It's an Arsenal that has made me fall in love with the club again. It's an Arsenal that has made me feel so much more optimistic and so much more closer to what we're doing as a football club. It's also made me feel that this team is now ready. I can now have that expectation of my club challenging Man City, challenging Liverpool, and going for a title every single season. Now, this is not me saying Mikel Arteta needs a new contract. This is not me saying that Mikel Arteta is the guy, X, Y, and Z, but credit where credit's due. Mikel Arteta has done a fantastic job. It's been one of the main reasons as to why Arsenal are in this position and why Arsenal are playing with this type of style and this type of mentality. So that the manager deserves a lot of credit. But my emotional attachment is always the football club. And if Arsenal do not deliver on the Premier League title, we've always said by the end of this season, this is the season where we've said it. This is the season. We can't change that now. Like, remember that, ladies and gentlemen, we can't change that now. This is the season. Obviously, there's guys in the chat that probably said, "No, I'll give him another season." For me, it was this season. It was this season. But the way I feel right now, I never felt like this even last season. It's mad. Didn't even feel like this last season. Probably apart. But the way I feel right now is just because of last season as well. You got to say to yourself, "No, this is an Arsenal that's here to stay. This is an Arsenal that are not going to capitulate. This is an Arsenal that have grown massively, enormously over the past 12 months alone. This is an Arsenal that are so much more professional, so much more mature." Them way there. So look, I don't even care about the atmosphere. I don't care about none of that at this moment in time. All I care about is Arsenal winning and taking our steps closer to that Premier League title, blood. And as I was saying, this is the season where I personally expect the Premier League title. Context for me can only be looked at if we finish second, blood. And that is exactly what I've said and always stood by. I've been disappointed. I've been disappointed at the domestic cup exits. Very disappointed. But with the way we've been playing, with this newfound belief, with everything that comes with Arsenal today, can I easily get over those exits? Yes. But do I expect massive and major improvements? Yes. At the same time. Do you understand? So am I gonna hang on to those exits and say, now you left, you got knocked out of the FA Cup third, fourth rounds and blah, 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 based on what we're doing now, and use that as a way of saying, cool, Arteta doesn't deserve to go again another season? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this season finishes, really. We have to really see how this season finishes. But based on what we're seeing, everybody needs to be on the same page. Everybody needs to be on board and say, you know what, this Arsenal is here to stay. This is Arsenal that inevitably have to win the title within the next 2 to 14 months. And that gives us obviously one more season after this. But again, it's a good place to be right now. It's a good place to be. I think we're in a position to attract all players as well. No one is saying no to Arsenal, blood. I know we've got guys in there moving like P. Diddy, blood. What is happening? What is going on, blood? Big up Deborah. Appreciate you, man. Benny was busting skill. Exactly. Benny Blanco, man. Big up my Benny, man. He has massive, massive improvements. All right, let's switch over. Pep Guardiola on the Premier League title race. He says, if we win all of our games, it will be down to the last day because they, Arsenal and Liverpool, are not 5, 6, 7 points in front. It will not be easy. I see Liverpool and Arsenal dropping points, but you never know. We have to show up and do our job. And don't regret that we should have won that game because they lost the game after. We cannot do anything. We cannot control what they do. We have to win our games. That's all we can do. Pep is on some psychotic, mental style vibes, blood. It's like every time I take in what Pep's saying, I feel like I'm talking to someone that's mentally ill sometimes. I swear. Big up Roland. He says Arteta's Arsenal has instilled in us all the reason to love the club again. The project and the process has progressed. Come next season with 2 or 3 perfect additions, we will become a team to beat. Well said, Roland, man. Well said. It's right, man. Over the past 24 months, man, with everyone's grown to love Arsenal, even the rival fans. I mean, they're hating, they're salty. There's dons out there. They will go on camera and say whatever they say, but behind closed doors, they flipping love Arsenal Football Club. They you know what it is? It's not even like they love us. Let's not even say that. They wish they was us. That's worse. That's worse. They don't love us. They wish they were us. That's what it is. That's what it is. The Chelsea fans, Man United fans, them two in particular. You know what? Let's dive onto these Man United frauds. Let's talk about these Man United frauds for 5 minutes. I've only got 5 minutes for you Man United dons, yeah? Only 5 minutes because your manager is out here crying, begging for time. So we're going to touch on and see what this bald-head fraud is saying, yeah? Make sure we are hitting the like button, all of that. They can't wake up without thinking about Arsenal every 10 minutes. Exactly, bro. These man wish they were us. And people say, well, you haven't even won anything yet. People always come at that. Listen, we're not delusional. We understand the game's about winning major honors. But the game's also about a process. You remember the PR process? Yeah, well, your club's going through it, yeah? Man United fans, your club's going through it. Chelsea fans, oh my God. The PR process that you, man, are going to go through, could take you another 5 years. Same with Man United, it could take them about 5 years. But Radcliffe, there's question marks over Radcliffe. Let's switch over. Let's talk about some Man United for a minute. Then we will get back and talk about Arsenal transfers. Don't go anywhere. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that type of stuff. We appreciate you, man. So, look, we do know Radcliffe owns Nice. Nice have got some good players. What they're in the process of doing right now with Manchester United and Nice, just to let the guys know in the background, is that they are taking Nice players. Sir Jim Radcliffe is basically saying to Man United, okay, we've got 4 or 5 dons over at Nice. You can have all of them. One of them is Thuram. Yeah, I can't pronounce his first name. Can someone break it down in syllables for me? Obviously, you know what Thuram I'm talking about, right? But the first one is Thuram. They're also looking at a left back to come in and replace Luke Shaw. They're looking at another winger that plays for Nice, I believe. We'll obviously look at what they're saying. But Radcliffe could be getting it right. Radcliffe could actually have the plan to actually get it right and literally catapult Man United within 1 season. But I think it also comes with making the right decisions and bringing in the right people. That's the most important thing, bringing in the right people. Now, Ten Hag's been brought in. When Ten Hag first came in, I actually thought Ten Hag was going to make something happen. I really thought he was going to make something happen. But for whatever reason, it's kind of slowed down and people are questioning. I was asking my cousins, not all my cousins. I've got half West Ham, half Man United. But I was with my Man United cousins the other day. And they were they are open to keeping Ten Hag. They wasn't talking about sacking him or they was open to keeping him. And I said, well, tell me a bit more about his style of play, because when I was obviously doing YouTube and me, connecting with other YouTubers and listening to the other YouTubers and stuff, the thing that I hear about Manchester United is the style of play is dead. 1 minute there's a bit of good football and you see patterns and you see something, and then all of a sudden it goes dead. One thing my cousin actually said to me, big up my cousin Joe. One thing he actually said to me was, and this resonated with me straight away, or resonate with so many of you, is that every time Man United score, it's like they try and protect that lead. That definitely resonates with us, because that's exactly what Arsenal were doing under Arteta in Arteta's second season. In Arteta's second season, every time Arsenal scored, we always try to protect that lead. And then what usually happened? We concede. And then we throw away the 3 points, or we draw, whatever the case may be. So he said that's what Man United are doing. And I think, look, if you actually compare both of the processes, and this is what I'm saying, it's now about process, P-R-O-C-E-S. And Man United and Chelsea fans have got a long way to go. They've got a long way to go. So what Radcliffe can do, and what I was going to say before I say this actually, is if you actually compare Man United and Arsenal and the process that both clubs have had to go through since Ten Hag took over, forget the managers that come before him, it's very, very similar. They both won cups in their first season. Ten Hag got Champions League in his first season. Mikel Arteta didn't. But then they kind of, in the second season, things started to fall apart. Everything started to fall apart for Ten Hag, for Mikel Arteta. And they clearly realized that we need a squad overhaul. And that's exactly what Manchester United need. So when you think about it, when you just look at that, just up until that point, we gave Arteta the rest of the time to build his team. And now look where we're at. We haven't won the Premier League yet, but we are looking like one of the best football teams on the planet. Okay. This is 2 years after the date we paused that for Ten Hag. Ten Hag is at that moment now. He's at that moment where he needs the backing. This Don on the screen is going to need to back him and give him the finances and the players that he needs. The only problem for Ten Hag now is that it looks like he's say in the transfer market isn't going to be the case. He's going to have little say on what he can do in the transfer market. According to Graham Bailey, Enos have held talks about players who could move both ways. Tadibo, who I really like Tadibo. Melvin Bard and Thuram discussed. Some at United intrigued by Thuram. So that's a part of a plan that they want to do, and they're going to ship over some players from Nice to Manchester United. That's the aim for them. That's the goal. So Radcliffe, but the point I was making here is, look, the point I wanted to make, before, because this is why it's called Waffle Sessions. Do Man United give Ten Hag more time? Because this is what Ten Hag's now asking for. Ten Hag is asking for time. He's begging for time. He wants time. And like I said, we gave Arteta time. The position that Man United find themselves in, Arsenal weren't doing great at that time. I'm going to talk about time frame wise. We weren't doing that great. It's 15th for wherever we were in the league. Weren't doing that great. Mikel Arteta got money, then made it happen. Does Ten Hag need money? Does Man United fans need to give Ten Hag more time? Does Ten Hag need more time? Ten Hag has urged Sir Jim Ratcliffe to have patience with the job he is doing at Manchester United and resist any temptation to interrupt the process. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about PROCESS now. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. PROCESS. Will Man United fans be happy to give Ten Hag more time? Is he good enough? Because right now, Manchester United are trying to make it happen with Nagelsmann. They want to move on from Ten Hag. Radcliffe has got a plan. This is why I'm saying Radcliffe might be the answer for Manchester United. He might know what he's doing. He's got this project with Nice that's going very, very well. He's going to take the top players from Nice and go and put them in Man United's team. Yeah. Maybe add 1 or 2 other players. Give them a bad boy manager that's been there and done it. I swear Nagelsmann's won the Champions League. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But he's definitely won the Bundesliga. We should hijack Todibo. Absolutely. So, yeah. This, it could be interesting for Man United, man. Nagelsmann could be a good move for them. Could be a good move for them. We got my guy Bermuda. Much appreciate the super chat, my guy. He says Emery put out a weak team against City. Yeah, I didn't even talk about Aston Villa and City. Yeah, Villa got beat up yesterday, didn't they? I didn't even talk about that. But again, that must have been in relation to what we were saying for Pep Guardiola. Pep and Klopp really, yeah, Pep's a questionable one. And Klopp as well, man, acting like he's not really paying attention to what's going on in this title race, blood. Acting like he's already bagged it. The way he's talking is like he's already bagged it, blood. Yeah, he needs to relax, mate, I tell you. Sir Radcliffe would not purchase 25% into Manchester United. He already have an agenda to set up. Ten Hag is not a part of the agenda. There we go. Let's see what happens, man. But it's interesting. Interesting stuff with Manchester United. Ten Hag begging for more time. He wants more time. And Sir Jim Radcliffe is just ready to pull the trigger, bring in Nagelsmann or bring in someone that has been there and done it at a more superior league level. Eredivisie. This is what I'm saying to you guys. See, Eredivisie, blood. You can't trust that league, blood. The only person that went over to that league that you could trust, that was smashing that league up, right? In current football world, is Xavi Simons. It's the only Don. And Xavi Simons took the piss out of that league. Like, for an attacking midfielder to have the GA that Xavi Simons had in Eredivisie goes to show you how much of a mediocre league that league is. Big up all my Dutch Dons. Big up Payne. Big up all my Dutch Dons. I don't mean to disrespect or offend you, but come on. There's categories to this football world, yeah? And you, man, over there in Holland are in some little man category, swinging with championship teams. So therefore, when you're looking at man's accolades, what they're achieving over there, when you're looking at the quality and the numbers that they're putting up over there, you have to be really reserved, because the Premier League is a totally different league, blood. Totally different league. We've seen so many of these guys from Eredivisie. We can make an exception for Onana at this moment in time. He's a goalkeeper, blood. I expect him to go to any league and be a Don. You're not even really coming out. You're saving shots, blood. You're saving shots. When you talk about midfielders, when you talk about wingers, when you're talking about attackers, yeah, you man think over in the Eredivisie that you can just come out of that league, come to the Premier League and make it happen. Yeah, no. It's not that time. It's not that time. So that's how Man United are feeling right now. They're like, Ten Hag, bro, you had your little spell at Ajax. Well done. You've done over 500 goals in less than 300 games. We can appreciate that. But we understand why you did that now. We understand why you did that. We get it. We get it. It's fine. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on, blood. Wax, when you score and then go into defensive mode, that's not good for the mentality of the players. Well, that's what my cousin said he feels like his Manchester United team were doing. So, look, I was just trying to use that as a comparison to what Arsenal were doing and where Arsenal were at. Because, Man United fans, it's your football club. You have your say. You feel how you feel about your football club. Cool. But you like to kind of give you guys reassurance to a degree that you man are not as bad as you guys are making out, or you're not as bad as a lot of many people think, especially the guys online. And again, my cousin also gave me context to this and gave me perspective on this. But Arsenal have been in the same boat. In fact, your results and what you have achieved under Ten Hag in the short space of time was actually better and can be deemed better data-wise than what Arteta achieved at Arsenal in the same space of time. So it's just about, can Ten Hag get you to where Arteta's taken Arsenal? And then the next step would be winning the league? Or do you just cut ties with him now and you go and get yourself a Julian Nagelsmann? I mean, that's obviously Man United fans to obviously think about. Do comment down below if there's any in the chat. Even Arsenal fans, let me know what you think about that. Should they stick with Ten Hag or should they actually get rid of him? You know, if I am to be totally fair, I probably would just get rid of Ten Hag. I swear to you, because look, when Ten Hag first came in, I liked him. Now I've got used to Ten Hag in the league, watching him talk, watching him explain his ideas, and just watching his overall style and everything that comes with him. I would say just get rid of him. He doesn't seem like a guy that is actually going to do what Alex Ferguson done at Manchester United. It's not going to do that. It's not going to be, it's not nowhere near that impact. If he's not going to have an impact nowhere near it, you get rid, blood. What's the point? What's the point? You can start seeing what Mikel Arteta is doing at Arsenal and say, you know what? Yeah, we've gave Arteta the time. Cool, but where we're at right now, you can actually see Arteta having a bigger impact over that course, over that 20-year period. And I mean, and it's a bit unfair on Arsene Wenger because he had to go through a very, very difficult and challenging time. But what Arteta is doing and what Arteta could, I can't get my words out, and where Arteta could potentially put us and take us, bro, he could actually outdo what Arsene Wenger done in the next 5 years, blood. Like, to a degree. I'm talking about trophies. I'm talking about where we're at. You know, like it's mad. It's mad. I'm talking about trophies, blood. I'm not talking about the football or anything else like that, or the philosophies. I'm just talking about the trophies and what Arsenal can win based on how Arsenal are playing right now, based on the mentality and the confidence of these players right now. If this continues in the next 5 years, Arsenal can go and do a madness to the point where it will blow out those 3 Premier Leagues that Arsene Wenger won at Arsenal. You know, look at what Pep's done at Man City, back to back Premier League titles, back to back Premier League titles. You know, you're looking at what Arsenal are doing. Arsenal adds to what they're doing. You're telling me Arsenal are not in a position to do back to back titles, as well as maybe a double and a treble and a Champions League and you know, yeah, it's got a long way to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And people will say, listen, it's slightly delusional to actually even believe that. But it's not even. It's not even. Because firstly, we're Arsenal Football Club. We're not West Ham. We're not West Ham with all due respect. And secondly, we're blowing teams off the park. Pause, blood. Pause. We're blowing teams off the park. Pause. Okay? And now it's like, we've got an actual strategy. When I see Arsenal play, especially since the bye, I feel like Mikel Arteta has a proper game plan, game by game, and he's executing it, implementing it, executing it. And yesterday against Luton was a prime example. We didn't need to go gun-ho against Luton. We didn't need to come out of gear 1. We know how qualified we are. We know what we can do to a team like Luton. So why is people sitting there worrying, oh, but we should have scored 6. Oh, but we could have done this. Forget all of that, bro. Forget all of that. The plan was just to go into Luton and play training, have a training session and have fun, guys. Don't worry. Don't strain yourself. Don't overdo it. Relax. Yeah, there were players out there like ESR, Reece Nelson, and there should have been an expectation for those guys to just instantly want to prove themselves, regardless. But the overall game plan for that game would have been just to have fun and make sure we just get the result, because the bigger result is the bigger game is Brighton for us. You know, no way there. So, and I'm starting to see it, man. Game by game, there was an actual game plan, a strategy that Arsenal are implementing, and it's coming to fruition. They're executing it very, very well, and I'm happy with it. Even against Man City, like I was there, naive and stupid, obviously just overreacting because I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm a passionate one, saying things like, oh, we should just go there and go gun-ho and slap them and attack them and brick them. And, you know, come on, man, you gas, come on. You know, obviously, in the moment, you never would do that as the manager. You'd never think about those things. But they're, you know, as a fan, you would. And anyway, Arsenal's game plan wasn't to go to Man City and do that, was it? It was to go to Man City, nullify them, and come out with a point. I don't even think Arsenal probably thought we could get the 3 points. That we could get the 3 points. And I think Arsenal should have, really and truly. But the main focus for that game was to go to the Etihad and just come out with that point. come out with that point and don't even concede, bro. Let's be like, and that's exactly what we've done. Trust me, game plan, game by game, there's a game plan, and Mikel Arteta and Earpod Albert. And you know what? You know what? Another thing we have to give, another thing we have to also consider here. Someone that I used to always call out. Someone that I used to always call out because I knew he was a fraud, blood. And he is no longer in the circle, blood. Where is he? Yeah? Steve Rounds, blood. Steve Rounds. Has anybody realized that since Steve Rounds got sacked, blood, because that's what happened, man got sacked, man tried to cover it up and make it look like it was just a normal, yo, yeah, we're parting ways. No, you got sacked, bro, because Mikel Arteta didn't like your way of thinking, bro. Your way of thinking was too David Moyes-like. Too David Moyes-like. And there's no coincidence that since Steve Rounds and his son have left, Arsenal have gone on to bigger and better things, blood. Arsenal look way better coached, way better coached. Oh, Steve Rounds, the clown. And remember, the real ones in the chat will remember me calling out Steve Rounds, saying that this guy doesn't belong. Doesn't belong. But anyway, let's move on to some Arsenal stories, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Thomas Partey confirming that he wants to stay at Arsenal Football Club. He doesn't want to leave. Thomas Partey doesn't want to leave Arsenal Football Club. He told Tom Canton assumes, based on what Thomas Partey has told him, that he doesn't want to leave. He says, "This is where I choose to play. I'm really happy every time I'm on the field." And Tom Canton says he spoke to an Arsenal midfielder after the game, and the quotations are in the link here. I'm not going to click that because I ain't got time. But Thomas Partey staying at Arsenal Football Club is interesting. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Thomas Partey extension? Would you give Thomas Partey an extension 1 year for Thomas Partey at the football club? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? Comment down below. Let me know. Moving on, Dani Ceballos, again, being linked with a move to Arsenal. Real Madrid midfielder Dani Ceballos could be an option for Arsenal and Manchester United, who plan to make a midfielder transfer in the summer window. Maybe this guy's just, it's Ekram Connor again. You got to take it with a pinch of salt. The guy's always waffling, talking nonsense. But whatever's being published in regards to transfers, we will talk about them. But do comment down below. Dani Ceballos, back to the carpet, ladies and gentlemen. What are you telling me? What are you telling me? Steve K, the fraud. Steve K, the biggest fraud of them all. He basically says that Leicester have joined the Crystal Palace race in the Crystal Palace race, the Eddie Nketiah race with Crystal Palace, and are looking to sign Eddie Nketiah in the summer. Wages won't be a problem if they get promoted, while the 37-year-old Jamie Vardy is likely to move on at the end of the season, which will free up 150k per week. And that's according to the fraud Steve K. He believes that Eddie Nketiah could be joining Leicester or Crystal Palace. He come off the bench yesterday, had one moment where he scored, could have scored, nearly scored. It was a good shot, a decent shot. But obviously we do know where Eddie's future lies. It's definitely not at Arsenal, unfortunately. Big you up, Eddie. We appreciate you, but we have to move you on. Russell says Partey stays. Melbourne says keep Partey. Glenn says if he stays fit, then I'm keeping him. Tope says no extension. Never accept it. He is willing to take unless he is never accept if he is willing to take a drastic pay cut. Okay, sorry. I was adding the if, you know, like you never put the if in there, and I was adding the if because I was trying to make sense of the sentence. Imagine. Win the EPL and then bounce TP. So everyone's just saying get rid of Grandpa Partey. Tabitha says Grandpa Partey needs to bounce. The coaching staff deserve major props, absolutely. And it's ever since that fraud Steve Rounds walked out, blood, we have been so much more better. Our players look so much well coached, so much more well coached. Bloody hell. We should get Julian Alvarez and promise him first team, prioritize him and give him Henry's number. Well, we are actually going to talk about two players that could be coming to Arsenal right now. Big up Malvern in the building. Appreciate you each and every time. Big up all the new subscribers. Big up Rizzo as well. I see ya. Make sure you are subscribing. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We hit 19K the other day. We should be on the road to 20K now and making it happen. So tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate every single one of you. I've got literally 3 more minutes and then I have to shoot out. So let me get through this very, very quickly. Okay, so main topic of discussion. Main topic of discussion is Bruno Guimarães. And obviously, we'll be touching on a little of Isak as much as we can, because we know we've been speaking about Isak recently. He's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal. And Newcastle just find themselves in a position where they're going to have to sell players, blood. They're going to have to sell, man. And no matter what, you know, when you're looking at Isak, when you're looking at Bruno Guimarães, if Newcastle can't finish in European positions, those players will want to leave. Newcastle won't even be able to afford to pay them. You know, it will get messy. It will get messy. People say, what do you mean you can't afford to pay them? Because they're going to have to restructure their wage bill. They're going to have to restructure their wage bill by a certain percentage. Whether that's keeping those players and then selling a bunch of fringe players, I don't know what they're going to do. If you decide to do that, then no, it's going to be difficult for you to even attract players and give them decent enough wages. The best thing for Newcastle to do to continue their rebuild, to continue building on what they've been building on over the past 12 to 24 months, is by selling at least one big game player. They have to. It has to be a Bruno. It has to be an Isak or a Tonali. One of those 3 players have to be sold. They can't keep them if you're not in Europe. No. It doesn't make any sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense. I think they struggle to even keep them even in Europa League, blood. Even in Europa League, I think these guys want to push. Maybe Isak might stay, but I think Bruno Guimarães will want to push. Anyway, it says here, Newcastle United fear they might need to sell Bruno Guimarães to satisfy the Premier League financial rules. PSG lead the chase with Manchester United and Arsenal also keen. And that's according to the Sun Sport. Now, they're frauds, we know that. But we do know Arsenal have been interested in Bruno Guimarães. He rejected us. He more or less rejected us for Arsenal. They kind of proved that by putting out that video of Bruno Guimarães signing for Newcastle. And they put all the tweets of, come to Arsenal, oh, Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal, and all of that. They've done all of that, put that in the video. And yeah, Bruno Guimarães went and drenched Newcastle, violated. You know, even on that basis, you're thinking to yourself, you know what, F this Don. Let's go and get Yusuf Fofana instead. Let's go and get one of those Dons instead. But obviously, it's a report that's being published, and we're going to talk about it because that's what we do. And Bruno Guimarães is being linked again with a move to Arsenal. Now, will you be happy to take this fraud at the football club? I probably would prefer to go for someone else. But you know, if you could sign Bruno and Isak together for Newcastle as a double mega transfer signing, you give Isak the number 14, you give Bruno. What could you give Bruno? Who's on number 6? Is Declan Rice our 6? I don't even know. Yes, Declan Rice is our 6, isn't it? Oh, I don't even know what number Bruno would get. I'm pretty sure he would want the number 8. I would personally give Bruno the number 8 and give Odegaard the number 10. And then tell ESR, blood, sorry, mate, I'm giving you 25. You got to work your way back up again. You know, then way there. Oh, I'm selling your ass. Either one, blood. That's my cue anyway, man. You heard that. That's my cue, but I got to go. So yeah, Bruno Guimarães again being linked with a move to Arsenal. Gabriel's number 6. Look, I don't even know my own squad numbers, blood. Imagine that, bro. Ryan Clerkey is the 8 we need, says Melbourne. I like Bruno, says Highbury's local badger, but that scum did not want to join our club. No thanks. Give me Tonali. He's a better player, but stick him in rehab before he joins Arsenal. Stick him in rehab, man. Like Tonali. Big up Sean in the building. Much appreciate you. Guimarães is a perfect fit for Arsenal. I always say that he is the guy. An option given that Zubimendi choose to sign for Barcelona. Yeah, man. There's options there for Arsenal, man. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see who Arsenal sign, blood. I can't wait to see who Arsenal sign. But big up all the real ones in the building. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn on notification bells on. All of that type of stuff, man. We're going to wrap this up. And we probably will be back again tomorrow morning, 11:30 tomorrow. So make sure you join us then. And yeah, man, we appreciate you guys. Do leave your comments on the video once the video is done as well. And I will go through those comments. Much appreciate that. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you lot on the next one. Peace.